This is the Effing One Podcast, Australia's only Formula One podcast with Adam and Luke.
G'day and welcome to Effing One Podcast, Australia's only dedicated Formula One podcast. Have we checked to see if that's true or not, Luke?
Nope.
Yep. We should get on top of that. As we wrap up the Montreal Canadian Grand Prix, Montreal, the second biggest French-speaking city in the world, home of the Montreal International Jazz Festival.
Really?
Yeah. And also the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival.
I knew that one.
Which is hilarious in itself. Who knew that French people had a sense of humour? Hilarious. Apparently French people can laugh. I never heard a French person laugh before. And Montreal is the 12th most livable city in the world, according to the 2018 Global Livability Ranking. Interestingly enough, Canada and Australia both have 3 cities inside that top 10. Melbourne just got knocked off top spot after 8 years at number 1 by, have a guess, who's now number 1 livable city in the world?
Which country?
Vienna, Austria. Seriously, Melbourne? Vienna, Austria? What have you got that Melbourne hasn't got? Vienna, you got the strudel, the lederhosen, you've both got shit rubbish racetracks. Melbourne, you're officially dead to us at F1 Podcast. This is the last straw. As a wise Indy 500 racer once said, if you're not first, you're last. I think it was Ricky Bobby, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
it
Ricky Bobby.
Yeah. And that's why you've got to go from the Formula One calendar. And Nerang GP, you are in. Melbourne is out. More on that a little bit later on, because right now it is time to delve head first, hands down, into the Canadian GP. Bonjour, Luke. Comment ça va?
Ça va bien. Merci. Where's Nerang on the livable cities?
Oh, it doesn't even make... It doesn't make the top million.
They stopped counting.
I think it's after Kosovo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just after Kosovo.
It's not bad. They're rebounding back.
Getting better.
Only took Austria, 80 years since shit hit the fan there?
Yep.
Thanks, Flatulent Fox.
Oh, you're most welcome.
It's a new nickname.
Is it?
Yeah.
You know what you are when at work. You don't know this, but the work
course I
guys,
don't.
the work guys call you Kermit the Frog.
Kermit?
I know.
Kermit?
I think you sound like Kermit. That's so unfair.
I'm trying to think about how to do a Kermit.
Kermit the Frog. Hello,
Kermit.
Yeah. Just
Hey, Miss Piggy.
You just talk normally.
Just do my normal voice. And they can go fuck themselves. Drama. I've been racking my brain how to get women involved in loving the sport without dragging them to a race.
Yep.
I purchased the What Women Want book edition.
Oh, did you?
It's the edition of the 67 billionth edition that they've made. It's revised quite frequently.
Yeah.
And I realised already that the new edition has been published, so I'm a little bit behind the times. The Grand Prix had drama, messy potato-based foods, which women love. Even a smidge of romance when Sebastian called Lewis handsome in a press conference.
Ooh.
Now, if that doesn't get the women in, I'll have to go all 50 Shades of Grey. But we must talk about the elephant in the room. And no, that's not me for once. The pressing point, what everyone's talking about, the incident that has sparked Twitter into a furor. What's going on with the Nerang Grand Prix?
That's what everyone's talking about, Luke. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so much, Luke. And we're going to speak directly to Lockie from the deli section of Woolies at that actually sits on the racetrack. There's a Woolworths, which is handy. And he's going to give us the vibe on the street, the feeling of what Nerang is feeling about this proposed Formula One Grand Prix. That later on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And more great stuff to come on the podcast as well, Luke. We are going to dissect this Canadian GP like it's a little frog in a science lab.
Was there anything that happened in that Grand Prix?
No,
nothing of note.
Nothing of note. We're going to hand out some awards. Peter has been very busy whittling away, and he will be hand delivering those to the respective drivers sometime, maybe next year.
We've got a courier on that. We've got a homing pigeon.
It's a homing pigeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just hasn't come home yet to give out the other ones.
It's lost his way, that carrier pigeon. We're also going to talk to four-time world champion Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian Vettel is on this podcast today. That's right, on the Effing One podcast. Tell you what, Luke, for a little Aussie knockabout podcast, a couple of blokes sitting in their jammies on your delightful
you wear to bed?
settee. It's a big honour to have four-time world champion.
It's always great to hear from him.
Wonderful to hear from him. And we'll catch up with him. Not sure where he is, but we'll catch up with him. He always spares a bit of time for the F1 podcast. We're most appreciative of that. An update from the new proposed Formula One race in 2020 that everyone is talking about. The Monaco of the Gold Coast. The Nerang Grand Prix. Dan Watch is coming up. Yes, we'll find out what Mr. Personality's doing. Dan Ricciardo. The reason that Formula One still has any money. That there's even a sniff of interest in the sport.
That's it. It's all about him.
Dan Ricciardo. What else? Dude or douchebag?
Dude or douchebag?
I thought I'd chuck this one in because we did mention it.
Because you didn't mention it at all.
I didn't mention it when we were chatting before we pushed the record button. But now that it comes to me, we did say that we were going to feature Cyril Abitable in the pre-Canadian. And I thought we'd just touch on it very quickly.
I thought we'd touch on it very quickly in the pre.
You know what? We can touch on it right now.
Kind of just, all right.
Is Cyril Abitable a dude? Well, first let's do the song.
Dude or douchebag?
Is he a douche?
Or is he a
douchebag? As we look at the Formula One...
Kermit the Frog.
As we look at the Formula One teams and we decide who is a dude, who is a douchebag. Cyril Abitable, the chief of the Nerang.
The Renault Sport Formula One team.
Sports team. Is he a dude or a douchebag, Luke?
Oh, he's a dude.
He's a definite dude.
Dude and a half.
I'm glad we did that. Let's move on.
Yep. It's a great segment. Even though we said he was a dude in the previous one.
This segment is
just
growing.
Just reinforces
this could be the
he's a dude.
most popular segment in this podcast.
Because it's so quick. It's over.
It's over. Because the rest of it is just too long and no one wants to hear it.
He gets the hairiest team principal award.
He is hairy.
And he also gets the dude award.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 awards. Good time to mention, as is tradition here at F1 Podcast, Luke, we must wear the native outfit of the featured race out of respect for the host country's customs and traditions and culture. And we are very respectful of and everything. Respect is our middle name. Effing Respect Podcast. One podcast. It's always nice also to dress up for a podcast.
It's nice.
Isn't it? I like it. Do you enjoy it? Or is it you've just been pretending you've enjoyed it all these years?
No, I do enjoy it. I think it's pointless for a podcast, but we do it anyway. I think there's a lot of things that we do is a bit pointless, but we do it anyway.
There's a lot of things in this podcast that don't make any sense.
Stop us.
So today, I'm so sorry. I'm dressed today as Terence Henry Stute from Toronto, Canada, and one half of Canada's favourite comedy duo. You, on the other hand, good sir, are dressed as Philip Niles Argyle from Montreal.
Sure am.
The other half of Canada's favourite stick figure cartoon, Terence and Philip from South Park.
Hey, Philip, come here. We're Canadian. I just farted in your face.
You quiffed in my face.
Oh, good Lord. Check out the outfits of what we're wearing on Twitter and Instagram. Terence and Philip, absolute genius.
Canadian.
That was terrible. Let's take a look at the Canadian Grand Prix, Luke. We've been dancing around it long enough. Time to tackle it head first. The team wrap.
Pants
How did
down?
each team go? Yeah, we're going head first, pants down, Luke. That's what we do, mate. What are your thoughts? Go through the teams and their performance for the weekend. How did they look?
All right. Where do you want me to start? Give me a team.
Let's start at the back.
Start at the back.
Let's start at the back of the grid, and we'll move forward. Give me the wrap.
So we'll go with McLaren.
Okay.
The reason I go with McLaren because that was the first one to DNF, non-classified for Chuck Norris. So we go into both went into Q3.
That was great.
Very good. The race was screwed for them early on with a blockage in Carlos Sainz's brakes. When they looked at it close, once they got the blockage out, they realised it was a visor tear-off So maybe it was a visor tear. Maybe it was someone who took our advice in having the optometrist apply
Yes.
tear-offs to their glasses.
Because that's when you know you're a Formula One
That's
fan.
when you know you're an F1 fan. So they've gone there, they've tripped it off, they've thrown it onto the thing, tried to spice up F1, got the wrong driver. Carlos Sainz had nothing to do with the lead. And, he was overheating his brakes. They pulled him in, pitted early. But it's... so he had to survive on hards for the rest of the race, and he lost his 9th place with fresher tired Stroll and Kvyat. Lando tried a radical camber solution on his right rear tyre.
Oh.
Did you notice that?
No, I didn't
He
know
came out of the last chicane with his wheel askew. I thought maybe that's a new McLaren. They're making the wheel cambered outwards, which is really quite strange. You would wear the inside of the tyre quite badly. So it didn't work. His rear tyres overheated, and his rear brakes had been overheating. And I'm guessing that for some reason it broke something. They still don't know what was the issue and what made it break, but it looked quite odd as he was nearly crabbing down the front straight before he pulled over and retired. He didn't hit a wall.
But that was just from heat, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm guessing whatever component was there hadn't been sort of heat tested properly.
Yeah.
And
Because you assume that he would have hit the wall, but he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Just
Didn't.
too much heat. It actually melted the axle or whatever it was.
Yep, could have been the axle, could have been a push rod.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's...
I've never seen that before.
No,
Ever.
it was... I thought maybe Terry was involved.
Terry.
And if anyone doesn't know Terry would... If anyone had a missing wheel in a pit stop, it was Terry.
Yep, the mischief maker.
But he's
from
been
Haas.
absent.
He's been very quiet. Terry.
He did make a half a sort of... they had a bit of a pit stop issue in Melbourne at the Haas team.
They always have pit stop issues,
But
don't
I haven't seen him since.
they? Incredible.
So it wasn't a good weekend for McLaren. They had good potential, both getting into Q3. No points, but a good haul for the third championship, which we'll touch on later.
Yes.
So Lando, Chuck Norris, non-classified in P20, and Carlos Minifons Sainz in P11. Which one do you want to go? Williams?
Williams.
This will be quick.
Right at the back.
Russell's still on top of Kubica. Kubica says when he was braking, the car was pulling to one side. Try managing that one-handed. So, boy George Russell, P16, and Bobby K. Kubica, P18 for Williams. No points for them.
That's good. P16 for Russell. He's beaten someone else.
He has.
He's beaten a non-Williams.
That was
impressive.
Kevin Magnussen.
That was Magnussen.
Yep, because Magnussen had a shit race too. Alfa Romeo, the Ferrari junior team. Ferrari's got a lot of grunt in their engine. They mustn't have given it to Alfa. Giovinazzi out-qualified Kimi. I think it's the second time he's done that. Giovinazzi also spun during the race. And that's pretty much it. So Antonio Giovinazzi, the pizza boy delivery, P13. Kimi Bottas Raikkonen. P15. Let's go with the Haas-holes. I got a fair bit to go with.
The Haas-holes.
Tough weekend for the US team.
Yep.
Grosjean and Mags had no real pace. Didn't help with Magnussen binning it at Q2.
Yes.
Hit both walls. Did a fantastic job. Wall of Champions. Magnussen said during the race, because they had to rebuild a new car. They asked him before the race, they said, how does the car feel? And he goes, brand new. Like, well said, because it was a brand new car.
Yep.
Because the chassis was damaged, as well as a lot of other things were damaged in his original car.
Yep.
So he had a brand new car, and the setup was very, very bad for him.
And he also said on the team radio, this is the worst car I've ever driven in any category of racing in my life.
Worst experience I've ever had in a race car.
And then Gunther Steiner comes on. Shut up.
Yep.
Stop talking.
And the engineer said to him, we don't feel great either. The team stayed up all late, and then Gunther Steiner cut in. We don't like it either. Enough is enough.
Yeah.
Woeful weekend for the Haas-holes. Grosjean whinging again. He got screwed with some bad luck from Magnussen in qualifying, but the Perez pulled a nice little move on him into turn 1 on lap 32. It was perfect. Bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. Wasn't anything severe, but straight away, Grosjean went on and on the radio and had a big whinge about it because someone touched him.
Yep.
But yeah, if anyone passes him, he's on the button. Maybe we should disable the radio button for Grosjean
Maybe.
because he just, as soon as someone, his engineers already on the button going, yeah, we know. We've seen.
Yeah, we get it.
We're going to report it.
Yeah. And then Magnussen chimes in with his commentary about the car. Like, just kill all interaction between us drivers.
Yep. So Romain Grosjean and on 14th, and Kevin Magnussen 17th.
Well, shocking weekend.
Bad weekend. So Racing Point, Lance.
Mixed bag.
Fuck. Home race.
Yeah. Good call. Starting from
17th
17th to 9th.
2 points for him.
That's amazing.
A long first stint on the hard tyres, put him in a great spot,
Yeah,
and a
that's
good
true.
move on the struggling Sainz, because Sainz had been on his tyres.
And he did have a stadium that was named after him.
Yeah.
I mean, Daddy did buy him a stadium
And paid the people to go in there.
paid everyone to be there. Had stadium stroll on it. I mean, you've got to, when you're driving, you look up, you see that, you'd be pretty pumped, wouldn't you? That'd give you a little bit of wings,
Well,
some gas.
When the Nerang Grand Prix comes around, you'll have your very own corner.
That's right.
You can go, I'm on the Ifland righty.
Now I just need a drive in the Formula One car, and I'll do a good effort and
We'll get the two-seater. We'll get Will Davison to drive around the
do a
two-seater.
two-seater. No, you and I.
So I'll drive, you're in the back.
You are faster in go-karts, so it seems fair that you should drive.
Because I will not get in the back seat.
No.
Yeah, so Lance, great job, finished ninth.
It was phenomenal.
Perez didn't do much compared to his teammate. Normally, he's very good on long strategies. It's something he thrives on, but it didn't pay off for him. So Lance, Daddy Boy Stroll, P9, Sergio Podium Thief Perez, P12. Who are we going to go? Toro Rosso.
Gee, Kvyat's doing well, isn't he? He's
is.
showing some form.
He is.
Is he not putting pressure on?
When will he get bumped up to Red Bull for Gasly?
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, but could he go back for a third time? A third bite of the cake?
And then would Gasly go to Renault if Hulkenberg doesn't stick around? But I think Hulkenberg wants to stay because he sees the potential.
I heard that Hulkenberg could be going to, if this was the case, if Gasly was to leave, Hulkenberg is in the mix to go to Red Bull, Ocon to Renault.
Ooh!
Gasly out of a seat.
Ooh, that's not good.
Controversial. Anyway.
Toro Rosso, the Honda power seems to be the weakest again. Both McLarens and the Renaults were ahead of the Toro Rosso cars.
But they're pretty reliable.
Reliable, I'll give them that.
And they're quick.
They're definitely not a GP2 engine.
They're better than last year.
Kvyat drove a solid race to get a point. Good move on Sainz down into turn one towards the end. Albon got heavily squeezed on the opening lap down to turn one. It took his front wing off and deposited it in front of Grosjean, which he whinged about that. So Daniel Rocket Man Kvyat, the torpedo, P10. And Alexander TIE Fighter Albon, non-classified when he retired, P19. So who do you want to go? Do you want to go Renault? Do you want me to go Red Bull?
Let's go Red Bull.
Red Bull. No initial pace for them early on in the race. Max had the harder tyres on and went quite long.
Well, we should maybe just quickly reverse because the disaster, that was qualification for Red Bull, and Max couldn't get out of Q2
Yes.
because of the Magnussen smash into the wall.
Yep.
So that's totally screwed up Max Verstappen. And then Gasly only qualifies, in sixth?
Yep.
Sixth place.
Sixth place.
Beaten by a Renault.
Yeah. So, as you said, Max got caught out by Magnussen in his Q2 crash, missed out on Q3. The issue, everyone was kind of like, it's not good, but it's Montreal, you can pass, there's plenty of chances to overtake. This isn't a Monaco, so it really doesn't matter for that track specifically. Max did a really good job on the harder tyres, then carved up the field on fresh mediums to finish fifth, and he said even if we started third, we would have finished fifth anyway.
Yeah.
So that's what they were hoping for, and that's what they're going to get. Ricciardo also said that qualifying where I knew today was just about fighting. It's not about making up positions. Gasly. I think he's still going around the track.
Fuck.
Got out qualified by Ricciardo, but ahead of Bottas. So Mad Max finished in fifth place, and the gas man Gasly finished in eighth.
And just before we head on further, but Gasly in a Red Bull can't overtake. It got overtaken by Hulkenberg, and they stay in front of Red Bull. Gasly can't overtake a Renault. 2 Renaults.
Yeah.
That is for the entire race.
Yeah.
Didn't have any mechanical problems. No excuse why he didn't do it. He just can't do it.
Yeah.
There's some serious issues with Gasly. That's not getting better.
Yeah. Not good for Red Bull, not good for Gasly. I think,
Because we're big fans of the gas man.
love the gas man.
Love the gas man.
I think he's just taking a little bit longer to hone his...
Well, he better fucking hurry up.
I think he's probably got a couple more Grand Prix to sort of show it and prove it. Or else he...
Because Red Bull aren't that patient.
No, the music might start up again. The musical chairs he could get. But it'd be very demoralising for Gasly to get demoted back to, back to the Toro Rosso team. But who knows? So over to Renault.
Renault, what a weekend for Renault.
Fantastic
Dan
weekend for Renault.
Ricciardo, you genius. How's that qualification lap?
Beautiful lap.
Fuck.
The Sky F1 boys really didn't seem to pick up on it when Daniel crossed the line for third initially, before the other guys finished their laps and Leclerc jumped him. I was a little bit shocked by that.
You're shocked that the British media doesn't really care when
just the fact that they're
Dan's
not looking
amazing.
at the timing screens. They're talking about there
Vettel.
was
It's like, oh my God, Vettel, last year's winner. He's also qualified P1. Yeah, you've got Renault, first time since 2010 when Kubica was driving for them.
Yeah.
The highest qualification since 2010.
Yeah.
Hardly gets a mention.
Yeah. So it shows that there's a bit of grunt in the Renault engine. So that's really positive going forward for the rest of the year. Apparently for the next Grand Prix, Renault also bringing major updates.
Oh, this is going to be big. This could be the turning of the corner.
This could be. This could be the step where they take, they go away from Haas and McLaren and sort of show their true pace. Daniel, phenomenal qualifying, some late braking moves, late blocking moves on Bottas. I mean, Crofty didn't like it, but there's a lot Crofty doesn't like.
What, he didn't like that Dan was racing?
No, he thought he didn't like it.
Oh, he's supposed to let him go.
Yeah, supposed to let him go past.
Right, they are racing, but you're supposed to let him go past. Fair enough, Crofty.
Yeah.
Nice one, Crofty.
See, he was saying he reckoned that Daniel was moving too much, but if you watch, Daniel stayed in the middle of the road, and then he gets to choose if he goes left or right. So some people go down the racing line and go left and then make a move to the right to block. Daniel went straight down the guts.
It wasn't like Dan did a Max Verstappen Azerbaijan on a Dan, did he? No, he wasn't like.
And then when he made his move, he didn't. I think the thing with Montreal, that back straight has a kink to it. So when you actually stay to the middle of the kink, it looks like you're moving, but you're actually staying in the middle of the track. Jacques Villeneuve took exception to Daniel's driving. He said that Vettel shouldn't have got a penalty, but Ricciardo should have, which just proves Jacques Villeneuve is fucking
you kidding
useless.
me?
No, I'm not kidding you.
Yeah, but he's gone. He's lost the plot.
He's lost it completely.
Mental.
So what does Crofty like? Cigarettes and gluttony.
What about more to the point that Bottas can't overtake and took a couple of laps to get past a Renault?
That's a very good point that Bottas couldn't do it. He could only go try one lap and then cool off the next lap and then try again the following lap because he couldn't go back-to-back laps because everything was just getting too hot. It was quite warm in Montreal on race day. But Dan used up a little bit too much of his tyres. He said he shifted the goalpost with Bottas when he realised it wasn't going to be so easy because he was just going to let him past. But when Bottas couldn't make the move, he's like, oh, all right, I'm going to be a nuisance.
Yep.
I'm going to make it difficult. And he decided to make it a little bit hard for him. Hulkenberg felt some gearbox issues early on, but he managed the softs well. I think he managed them longer than pretty much anyone else on the softs. And he put some pressure on Daniel with a handful of laps to play for. But the heat and being that close, he pulled back for a solid team result. They went from 8th in the Constructors' Championship to 5th. Daniel, the personality, Ricciardo finishing 6th, and the talented Nico Hulkenberg finishing 7th. A whole wad of points.
Yep. That was beautiful. Beautiful. I just hope that Daniel remembers for next time, according to Crofty and Jacques Villeneuve, when you see a Mercedes-Benz behind you, just pull over and let them through.
After you, sir.
After you.
But also Crofty made a point before Monaco that he hasn't scored a point with his new helmet because the race that he got the 1000th race in China. I think he got points. He was wearing the Jack Brabham
Right.
helmet.
Yep.
And he's like, he's only got points with Renault with wearing that helmet. And now Daniel's had back-to-back Grand Prix with good scoring points. So Crofty, again, shut the fuck up.
No, touche.
Ferrari. Wow.
Ferrari.
Where do we start?
Where do we start? Well, let's start with
Pole position.
pole.
Driver of the day, Sebastian Vettel. Seb went off at turn 3, carried over to turn 4. Everyone's talking about this. Twitter is on fire. Still is. A lot of people can't get over it.
A lot of people saying they're never coming back to Formula One.
And
they're done with it.
Oh, you know what? If
You're not done with it, Luke.
If you say, I would never say that. There's dull Grand Prix, and you go, that was a tough race to watch.
But
that's a tough race to stay up for. But then there's incidents like this, and you don't go, that's it, I'm done with it. It's not the way it used to be.
Well, it seems overregulated. It does seem like it's overregulated, and it kills a perfectly exciting Grand Prix where you've got Hamilton and Lewis battling it out, and suddenly that contest is over. There's a 5-second penalty and race is over. So we just sat through an hour and a half for nothing now.
Yeah. When you go over the grass at 140 kilometres an hour, you're not going to have much control. When you rejoin the track, my issue is Hamilton. Inertia is always going to take Sebastian to the right-hand side and close to the wall. Always going to happen. The fact that Lewis thinks that he can just bag it up and go on the outside, it's not a smart thing to do. But knowing the rules and knowing he comes back on it in a dangerous position and it cuts you off from making a move, you know that there's a penalty coming. Straight on the radio, he came on there dangerously. If I was...
Fair enough.
When you're on Lewis's onboard, you can actually see Sebastian make the mistake before the apex of that corner. Lewis is under control of his car. Now, if this was Fernando Alonso in the Mercedes, or this is Daniel Ricciardo in the Mercedes, they would have gone underneath. They know that Sebastian isn't going to have control and he's going to run wide to that wall. When you initial apex of turn 3 and then you come around to late apex of turn 4 and then go on the inside of the track or the inside of where Sebastian's going, he's going to the wall, you go to the left-hand side, you win the race. No controversy. You win the race by his mistake. There's no investigation.
So you
There's
think
no
that
5-second penalty.
Hamilton sneakily knew that and then therefore took the outside because knowing that Sebastian would be drifting over?
You were never going to go around the outside. If you stand...
So he's kind of playing for the free kick.
Yeah, exactly. So he's taking a dive. He's friends with Neymar. He knows how to take a dive. But if you go to a rally event, right, there's no barriers. There's the gravel and then you. Are you going to stand on the outside of a corner or are you going to stand on the inside of a corner? If I was anyone, I'd be standing on the inside of a corner because inertia takes you to the outside. Inertia will always take you to the outside. And Lewis has raced a fair bit in his life and he knows where Sebastian's going. And if Sebastian had lost control like he'd spun a few times over the last year, it would have taken both of them out. So if Sebastian made a mistake and hit that wall, Lewis is going to go in with him as well. So you're actually increasing the possibility of A, getting a penalty and like Sebastian getting a penalty, or you both crashing. If you don't check up and go inside, which you had time because you see him going wide, before you get to the apex of turn 3, turn 4, you cut around on the inside, you're gone. Race is yours.
It's a good point.
I don't understand why more people... Even Sebastian said on the radio, why didn't he go on the inside? Like, if he went on the inside, he would have won the race.
I guess in Hamilton's defence...
No defence.
He has a split second, and he's seen a gap, and he thought, I can make it on the outside, and that was closed off pretty quickly.
Oh, of course it was.
He obviously didn't have... He might have thought he had that gap. He didn't have that gap. But, look, the fact remains, Sebastian fucked up. Sebastian choked, span off again, with Hamilton on his ass. Every time Hamilton goes anywhere near Vettel, he freaks out and he goes off or he spins.
So there's a couple of things.
You can't blame Hamilton for that.
No, you can't.
It's a Sebastian
Hamilton
fuck up.
made mistakes as well. Hamilton locked up a few times at the hairpin. It just didn't cost him a race win.
Sure.
But you look
And rules is rules.
Rules are like the definition of coming on unsafe. They felt that he was under control. I don't think he was under control. When he looks in his mirror, that's after he's regained control. And that's the time where he's looking to see where he is. He's not. Once he comes onto that grass, he's still fighting. Once he comes off the grass onto the racetrack, he's still fighting the car. And then once he feels I've got the car underneath me, he looks to his right to see what's going on.
Yeah.
He's not coming off the grass, looking over his shoulder.
It doesn't have to be intentional though from Vettel.
That's what the steward said. That's what they took
intentional?
that he came on unsafe.
Yeah, but he could do that accidentally.
No.
They're saying that he deliberately, intentionally
Yes.
blocked
Yep.
Hamilton. I didn't get that.
Yeah, because it's an unsafe re-entry. So they're assuming he has control of the car. When you don't have control of the car, people are like, oh, but he cuts a corner and therefore he gains an advantage. He didn't gain an advantage.
No, because it wasn't intentional.
The gap shrunk.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
to the rule is to gain or maintain an advantage. It had nothing to do with him cutting the corner. He made a mistake. Just like Lewis made a mistake in 2016, cut the corner of the chicane. I learned yesterday that the 2016 Monaco, where Daniel Ricciardo had the fucked up pit stop, when Lewis cut the corner at the Nouvelle chicane,
Yep.
and then came on and then blocked Daniel, the stewards didn't look at him cutting the chicane. The investigation was about him blocking Daniel. They didn't
Right.
actually take note
Of him cutting
the chicane, and which
To
under
have
the rules is to
unfair advantage.
gain or maintain an advantage.
Yep.
Daniel was attempting an overtake maneuver. He went through the corner, stays ahead of him. That's technically...
So, having said that, if that happened now with the regulations and the over-regulation, as some call it, that's happening at the moment in Formula One, which people claim is hurting, ruining Formula One, in that situation, would Hamilton have incurred a penalty if it happened now?
I've no doubt if that happened again...
Well, hang on, it is Hamilton though. Different rules.
Yeah. So they didn't look at... So he rejoined the track from cutting off, and which came out in front of Daniel. There wasn't a look at him re-entering the track unsafe. They didn't look at him cutting the corner. They looked at the blocking afterwards. So that was a whole incident in 2016 to a lot of people putting videos. I put a video up going, look at this, why isn't this one? But then one of the journalists gone, no, if you look, this is the press release. They didn't actually look at the cutting the corner, didn't look at the re-entry of the racetrack. They only looked at him blocking after the Nouvelle chicane before they went to back. So that's where that lies. Sebastian wasn't under control. The Ferrari are appealing it, so we'll hear about that. We probably shouldn't waffle on about every podcast to be talking about it. Twitter's going to go on until the French Grand Prix, until someone else does something stupid. But one thing I would like to have seen, thinking outside the box, not in hindsight, even when I was watching the Grand Prix, when Sebastian tried to get a gap to Lewis, you realised he wasn't going to make it. I think he got it to 2 seconds and then Hamilton pegged it back.
Yep.
What I would have done, and they didn't tell Charles Leclerc about Vettel's penalty until after the race. So they didn't tell him because Charles was going, right, I'm going to hammer them down and I'm going to get within that 5 seconds, I'll jump another spot.
Right.
They didn't tell him until after the race.
Wow.
His engineer didn't go, guess what, Charles? He's got a 5
Here's your chance to get second place.
But what I would have done is like, listen, we're not going to win this race. We can't get this 5 seconds on Lewis. Let's back Lewis up, bring Charles Leclerc into that range, and with a Ferrari grunt, he would be able to overtake Hamilton.
Interesting.
Or they Dyson battle, and then Sebastian fucks off 5 seconds. You need to think outside the box, and that's the thing that they're like, all right, we're just gonna sit here and take it. But either Charles Leclerc could have won it, or Sebastian by them battling and dueling.
It is Canada though. If Hamilton tries to back Sebastian back, Hamilton surely can pass him quite easily. It's Canada. It's not Monaco.
Well, every corner, Hamilton's quicker. Every acceleration zone, the Ferrari's quicker. So all he needs to do You slow him up a little bit more in the corners.
In the corners.
You can lose a second, 2 seconds a lap very, very easily. And once it comes to the overtaking points, that Ferrari has so much grunt. Didn't matter with Hamilton's DRS open. He wasn't getting close. The Ferrari was still going away. It's the same with the Renault and the Mercedes. They didn't have the grunt. And also with the Stroll blow up that happened on Friday, I think, or Saturday, the big engine blow up. I don't think Mercedes were going to push these new engines because what could happen? So just try it. Back him up. You're going to lose the race anyway. Back him up. Get Charles Leclerc either to busy Hamilton or Leclerc takes over Hamilton and then
quite possibly
he can hold back Hamilton and then Vettel. Just think outside the box. Don't go, right, we've got 15 laps after we get this notification. We're just going to sit here and just take it up the arse. Try something different.
I like it. So that's Ferrari.
So
Mercedes.
Sebastian, not so much finger boy, sauerkraut Vettel. But what I did like, him moving the numbers over, perfect. The way he handled it, I really liked it. It showed the human side of it. It showed passion and emotion where you don't normally see that.
Not a spoiled brat, the fact that he didn't park his car into the proper spot where he was supposed to. He parked it down.
When you feel you've been wronged, it's not bratish. You know, it's...
That's Max's motto every week.
That's emotional.
That's Max.
So, and Charles Leclerc finished third. So as
kind
much
of
as
uneventful, Charles, wasn't it? Really, compared to Vettel and Hamilton, quite an uneventful race.
Yep, I think they pitted him again, and I thought, maybe this is for fastest lap, but he had issues with the tyres, so and he caught up quite quickly. But if they'd held him up a bit, maybe they could have gone a little bit quicker. Mercedes,
Bottas, hopeless.
Oh shit, Bottas.
He's just kind of ruined his championship right there. He's been so good. Either first or second, and then this was the big let-off this race.
This was a bad weekend for Bottas.
The big let-off for Hamilton, and Bottas really dropped the ball. Very disappointing.
So, Lewis, Dushkanu, Hamilton had a crash in free practice 2. Also, after qualifying, they found a hydraulic leak in Lewis's car, and you can change like for like in Parc Fermé. So once they're after qualifying, they're in a Parc Fermé. So you can't touch, you can't do anything. But the next morning, if they recognise an issue, they can change a part like for like. So that it's not cheating, you're not getting an advantage, you're not putting a new update, you're not changing setups on the car. So you can change for like. But the thing is they changed something in the hydraulics, but it wasn't like for like. But the FIA couldn't prove that it was a different operating system, like it wasn't operating differently, it was just a different way of using their hydraulics. So that's how they got away with it. No penalty, nothing will happen there. My only issue is why wasn't it different? Why was it different? Like, you wouldn't think that they'd have a different hydraulic system coming from going to a Grand Prix with like, hey, let's take 2 hydraulic. Why would it be different? Bottas had a scrappy qualifying, spun in Q3 with his first run and a very average lap in a second. Broke too deep, went wide, missed apexes. It was really messy.
Clumsy.
Maybe he didn't have his porridge.
The Bottas.
Power porridge.
Power porridge.
With
a free beard when you buy a packet of power porridge. Comes with
where could you
beard
pop
attachment. Anywhere you want. Top of your head, chest, undercarriage. It's very versatile.
You can pop it on your wife.
On your wife. As a matter of fact, I've got one now.
But they didn't have pace early on. They clearly set up their cars for the harder compound tyres. Bottas had a good battle with Ricciardo. This is what it's like to battle with a pro.
Oh,
not so easy.
Bottas.
Didn't roll over and take it up the arse. This is Ricciardo didn't want to fight, as I said earlier. But Bottas
it wasn't great for his tyres, but it was a lot of fun to see a Mercedes stuck behind a Renault for a couple of laps.
Yeah, Bottas said it was a tough but fair fight. Hamilton inherited the win, so Lewis, Dushkin and Hamilton first. Fuck you, Bottas fourth. Some of the quotes, Sebastian came in the track so dangerous. Just race him.
Who said so dangerous?
That's what Lewis said about Sebastian.
Oh, about Sebastian.
Straight away, as soon as it happened, on there.
Yeah.
So what did we learn from anything? Whinging will get you anything. It's just like someone in a retail store. If you whinge, the manager comes in and goes, whatever you want, just keep you happy.
And maybe the race director, was it Michael Massey, the Australian guy?
No, it was, he's not the steward. So
Who's making that
there's
call?
a race director, and then there's stewards, and stewards make the decision on penalties and stuff like that.
Right.
There's a 5-time Le Mans winner, Pierre. I've completely forgotten his name. He was the chief steward, and there's 3 stewards that make a decision.
Well,
so they
maybe.
and they gave him the least penalty that they could based on the written rule of regaining. The thing is, I think he wasn't in control. They think he was in control and deliberately
Maybe they need to
made
look
it dangerously.
a little bit long-term for the championship and go, what's good for the sport? Make some decisions like that.
Yeah, but the thing is you can't judge one thing and go, oh, look what Magnussen did, and then look what Vettel did, but he's in the championship, so we'll keep it differently.
That's true. You can't judge it just because there's a championship.
Yeah.
It's got to be purely black and white on that incident, not looking. Yeah, I get it.
But I don't think he deserved a penalty. Personally, I don't think he should have got one. What about you?
For the good of the race, I would say.
But if it was the other way around, and Lewis Hamilton fans are like, oh yeah, you should have got one, but I dare say if that was switched around the other way, they're going, oh, it wasn't that bad.
It depends who you like, isn't it? Really, when it comes down to it, you ask a Ferrari fan, they're going to say Vettel was hard done by.
But we're neutral. We hate both of them equally.
That's true.
So I still think that it wasn't intentional. He's not coming on in a dangerous fashion when you don't have control of your car.
I'm right in the middle.
This isn't Grosjean spinning off in Spain.
No, I get it.
Coming in front of everyone and crashing.
Yep. I think rules is rules, and I do think he impeded Hamilton.
Rules is rules.
But I also think, it wasn't a
Hamilton impeded Hamilton.
It wasn't a deliberate attempt to impede. It was, accidental. So they could have let it go quite easily. Anyway, enough of this, because this has been going on for too long. You need to have a breath, because you're getting quite animated. Have a little drink of water, Luke.
Yes, dear.
Have a little drink of water, because right now it's time to talk about fastest lap, Luke. Who get the fastest lap out there? Which is kind of a completely mundane kind of thing now, the fastest lap, because it's just either a Ferrari, Mercedes or Red Bull who's got the gap to put some fresh rubber on with a couple of laps to go. It's pointless. I don't like it.
Well, it's not pointless anymore.
Well, they get a point.
You get a point, and that point goes to Valtteri, fuck you, Bottas.
I mean, does he deserve it? No.
Well, he got the fastest race lap, so unfortunately he does. So it was a 1 minute 13.078, and he gets the fastest lap and the extra point.
Unfortunately, not a fan.
Who knows? This extra point could win him a championship if he pulls his finger out.
Yep, I doubt it. It's Bottas. Driver of the day?
Driver of the day was Sebastian Vettel. Even though he made a mistake,
wow,
he still got driver of the day.
Dan Ricciardo for me. Championship points breakdown?
Championship points breakdown. Well, also I want to mention Williams, pit stop. 2 seconds flat.
Really? Fastest pit stop?
Again,
Williams.
They're picking their...
On fire.
They're not doing it one-handed like Kubica is. They're doing it with 2 hands.
Well done, Williams.
So the Drivers' Championship is Lewis Hamilton, 162 points. Valtteri Bottas, 133. Sebastian Vettel, up to the 100. Max Verstappen, 88. Charles Leclerc, 72. Pierre Gasly, the gas man, 36 points. Carlos Sainz, 16. Carlos Sainz, 18. Daniel Ricciardo, 16. Kevin Magnussen, 14th. The rest don't care.
Nice. Renault's coming back. Renault's catching up.
Yeah, Constructors' Championship. Mercedes is on 295 points.
It's all over. It is all over.
Ferrari, 172 points. Red Bull Racing, 124. McLaren, so 124 points for Red Bull. Next step, McLaren on 30 points.
Yeah.
And only 2 points behind is now Renault on 28. Racing Point has a few points. Should be Racing Points. 19 points for the Canadian team at the Canadian Grand Prix. Toro Rosso with the Kvyat and Albon 17 points. Haas, 16 points. Alfa Romeo Racing 12 points, which is all Kimi Raikkonen's. And, we know what's going on with Williams.
7 races in, and it seems like this championship is all over.
What championship isn't all over?
The Turd Championship, the reverse championship, measuring the shittest teams in the race, which is good to celebrate because we always celebrate the World Championship. We never celebrate the worst drivers.
Yeah.
Who's leading the Worst Driver Championship, or as we call it, the Turd Championship?
The Turd Championship. So Norris got the maximum 25 minus points this weekend for his unfortunate rear failure. Nothing worse than a rear failure.
No.
So Kubica, he's got a handy lead in this championship right now. He's negative 89 points.
Oh, catch me if you can.
He's
covered in
flying
nard,
away.
covered in shit. And he is going to love that trophy, that hand whittled by Pete, producer Pete, and his producer Pete's beautiful porcelain work on top.
Whittled, pickled, you name it. Everything's happened to this turd.
Covered in chocolate, covered in
That's
glitter.
not chocolate.
That's not chocolate. That is real man chocolate.
So second place is Norris on 68 points. Russell, 66 points. Grosjean, 62. Ricardo, 57 negative points. And then the rest really doesn't matter. Grosjean and, Sainz and Hulkenberg equal on 50 points.
They are the drivers that are on the nose this week for the Turd Championship.
Yeah.
And now the highly treasured, highly respected F1 Podcast Awards, Luke. Let's get into these ones. We have a whole stack of beautifully, freshly whittled from producer Pete. The Green Award for smallest carbon footprint. Luke, who was friendly to the environment this week?
Well, it was clearly the McLaren of Lando Norris. Chuck Norris there gets the Green Award for retiring very, very early on in the race and saving fuel, burning less carbon, and thinking about the environment.
Well done, Chuck Norris. Well done. The UGE Day Award.
Well,
The biggest wasted time award, Luke.
you get a choice this weekend.
Oh, you beauty.
It could be Haas, it could be Williams, or it could be Alpha.
Oh.
Because they did fuck all three of them.
I'd like to think it was Haas.
Haas?
Just because they were so disappointing.
And he did wreck a car, so it was really
Wrecked a car,
pointless.
got his team principal riled up and shut down from the team principal on the
Ruined
radio.
Grosjean's qualifying.
Ruined Grosjean's
Yeah. Haas.
Haas. Well done,
You
Haas.
get the UGE Day Award
Well done.
for wasting everyone's time.
Jeez. They're a team that can be terrible or great and nowhere in between.
No.
They very rarely are in between. The F1 Podcast Award, Luke, for making Formula One great. Who made it great out there?
Who made Formula One great this weekend? What was the highlight of your
Dan
weekend?
Ricciardo for making Formula One great. For the first time that a Renault has qualified that highly since 2010, Robert Kubica to beat two Red Bulls and a Ferrari in qualification, and then to hang on a not so flattering tyre choice to pick up sixth place. Hats off, trousers down, Luke. Come on, let's drop them for Dan Ricciardo.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
You're not gonna call him the?
No.
Who's your favourite driver of the weekend? Are you mental?
You're not going to believe me.
I don't believe you.
It's Lance Stroll.
You idiot. He had a preferable tyre choice. His daddy bought him a grandstand. And he had an easy, cruisy drive.
Crazy drive.
Carlos Sainz's tyres had
He made
gone off.
more overtakes than anyone else. Went from 17th to
Yeah,
9th.
because he stayed out there longer than everyone. Oh, Luke, you've changed. You've changed.
He made some good moves. He made some solid overtakes. Did a great move on
Lance
Perez.
Stroll.
Lance.
Lance.
Silver Spoon Stroll. I thought I'd never say that. But I was clutching at straws. I'm like, yeah, Daniel did all right.
Let's go back 20 seconds. You can still not say it. Let's rewind the tape. Come on, Luke. Please.
Nope.
All right.
Lance Stroll.
Wow. Traitor. The next award is the Pastor Maldonado Award for
If Daniel got a podium,
dangerous-
bang, there you go.
for dangerous drive. Yeah, against two Ferraris, two Red Bulls, and two Mercedes.
Yep.
Pastor Maldonado Award.
Pastor Maldonado Award for dangerous driving. We have to give it to the one, the only, Kevin Magnussen.
Oh, Mags.
The Viking, who crashes into not one wall, but two walls and back into three walls. He pinballed on the main straight.
And then the comments about the car being the worst he's ever driven.
Yeah.
because you smashed it, dickhead.
Yeah.
You ruined that car.
Wouldn't recommend it.
What an idiot. No, good choice. That is a great choice, Magnussen.
I'm glad that you're unanimous with us.
The only thing today we'll have that is unanimous. It's now time for the Lick It and Send It Award, the best overtaking manoeuvre. Who got the best overtaking manoeuvre out there? Who got it done?
There was a choice of two. The one I saw live, which I thought was very impressive, how clean, late, very lick it and send it-y move, was Daniel Kvyat on Carlos Sainz down into turn 1. Or how Effing One Podcast Award winner Lance Stroll overtaking his teammate in a very late braking move down to the hairpin. Very late, made it stick, passed him, but I'm going to give it to Lance Stroll.
Are you getting sponsored by the Stroll family?
Have you noticed my new wig?
I've seen that you're wearing a Stroll wig and a Stroll suit.
And my gold teeth?
I wonder where you got them from.
Yeah.
How very convenient.
Thanks,
Proudly.
Daddy Stroll. I'm calling him Daddy now.
Oh, my God. You are a sellout.
But it was a great move. If you watch his trundle through the grid, you'll see it on YouTube or Instagram. Beautiful move, nice and late on his own teammate. I think that was the most impressive bit, and it was a real lick it and send it move. If Carlos had better tyres, because Carlos had been on those tyres since about lap 4, I think, or lap 3, and Kvyat was pounding through, I think it would have been Kvyat. And but after the race, I'm like, Kvyat, lick it and send it move, easy. And then I saw the Stroll move. I'm like, yeah, that's a good move. I don't like Stroll.
No.
I still don't like him.
But you will take their money.
I will.
And that's nice.
I will like them for money.
I'll
like anyone for money.
This podcast does need a little bit of cash injection. I've looked at the books, Luke. I've gone through the books.
Oh, you finally got them off Pete.
I've wrestled them. When he was sleeping, from his pried arms, they were in his arms when he was asleep. And the numbers aren't great.
No, they're not.
They're not great.
No.
I'm not going to lie to you, Luke.
We are in the red. Is it the red?
Yep, we're definitely in the red.
Yeah.
We are not in the black.
No.
But if a certain Stroll would like to come along and jump on board, we are open for bribery. Well, Luke's already well and truly on board for bribery.
Bling, bling.
Now it's time to... That's all the awards, isn't it?
That's the awards,
We
man.
wrapped it up. Good, because this man has been on hold for the last... He's been listening to this conversation, I think, for the last half an hour. Your gigantic rant, which was in his favour.
Of course.
So he'll be happy.
Yeah.
Sebastian Vettel, 4-time world champion Sebastian Vettel. An honour to have him on this podcast, this little Aussie podcast, the knockabout podcast that this is. And he is live with us today on Skype. Let's go find out where he is. Sebastian, can you hear us?
Hi, guys. Hi, I'm Sebastian Vettel, 4-time world champion. What's happening, guys?
You don't have to introduce yourself, mate. You're a man that needs no introduction.
4-time world champion, Luke. Hey, what are you doing, guys? Hey,
Yeah.
so nice to see you. What is this podcast called again?
It's the F1
I don't fucking care.
Okay, so
I don't even want to know. Okay,
it's-
guys?
How are you going?
Great. I'm okay.
You're okay now?
The decision was und über shit.
It's going to a further judiciary, so you might get that win back.
No, don't worry about it.
But-
They never make reverses or changes. Don't worry about it, look. It's okay.
I think you need to be. I think the great thing that's come from the weekend is that Ferrari crossed the line first, regardless of the penalty. You were the team that got pole position. You were the team
Sure.
that led the majority of the race.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
there's a lot of positives to take away from the weekend.
Hey, look, that's great, but I don't want to talk about the race
Where are
today.
you?
I don't want to talk about the race. I'm in the jazz club. Montreal is famous for the jazz clubs.
The Jizz Club?
Yes, no, it's a jazz club.
Jazz.
Yeah. Jazz club.
Jazz.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
okay.
what I said.
Okay.
Are you making fun of the accent?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Look, I'm a German guy, okay? So I thought I'd stick around in Montreal for a little bit longer.
They
and
do have
hang
a lot
around.
of good jazz clubs.
They have some famous jazz clubs. So I thought I would kick back and have a spritzer and maybe some Frankenbeans. So I'm a little bit peckish. So I want some... Hang on, let me just check on my Frankenbeans and my spritzer.
A question while you...
Sorry, look, sorry.
Und, Pierre, what's going on? Where's my Frankenbeans? Bring them over now. Very peckish. And the spritzer.
Yeah, I'm with the effing Fun podcast.
Hey, you knew the word.
I don't even know. Yeah, some from Australian podcast. I don't know. Just brings the fucking Frankenbeans. Sorry, guys.
Oh, welcome back.
I'm sorry, guys. It's a jazz club. It's all very cool and great. I'm wearing a beret. Can you see my beret?
I can see the beret. It's very fetching.
Thanks.
I just want to... Do you have
Yeah.
a crush on Lewis Hamilton. In the press conference, you did say that you called
I
him,
like his black hiney.
you called him handsome.
He's got a nice arse.
Now,
He's got a nice Auschwitz.
you stand by that statement that he's handsome?
Yeah, he's got a great Auschwitz. Too soon?
So there's, the foursome is with 4 people
I've never had a four-way.
and a threesome is with 3 people.
Yeah, sure, I've had lots of those.
So I think I know why you called him handsome.
Maybe 4 is a four-way. Yeah?
I don't think you got the joke there.
No, I don't know. I'm German, but you have to expand it out to me.
You normally have a good sense of humour.
I like und Monty Python. I'm a big fan of the Monty Python. And I like the jazz club. I like the jazz club. Frank and Beans. The comedy festival. There's a comedy festival here. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, hey, look what you're wearing.
Not much.
Really?
Yeah.
Put the camera down a little
No.
on the Skype machine.
No. Because in this podcast, we go head first, pants down, and right now my pants are down.
Oh, great. Okay. So now,
You just have that image in your head.
look, tell me about the joke. Tell me about this Australian joke you're telling me.
Well, the foursome's with 4 people.
Sure.
Threesome's with 3 people.
Slow down. You move too fast.
Threesome with 3 people.
Sure.
So there's a reason why you called him handsome. As in handsome one.
Oh, no, I got
hand.
that. I just didn't think it was very funny.
Ah, yes.
But it's
Good.
okay, look.
Good.
It's good. No,
Yes.
I don't remember seeing you at a comedy
The
festival.
great thing about this, Sebastian, is I can edit this whole thing out.
No, please, look. This is great stuff for your listeners in Australia. Sure. So, look, my Frank and Beans have arrived. I'm going to down them. Hey, Frank. Hi, Beans.
Enjoy the penalty.
I'm going to put this deep down. Okay, see you later. Bye, guys.
Bye, Sebastian.
Wow. Feisty.
Fucking hell.
What's going on?
What's wrong with that
Is
joke?
it all right?
That was a fucking good joke.
That was one of your better ones, Luke. That was
Ah,
right up there.
I'm never doing a joke again.
No, Luke.
No.
Don't be like that.
No, a dull motherfucker.
It's Sebastian. He's an idiot. And he's German.
He normally has a good sense of humour.
He doesn't. He really
fucking
doesn't, Luke.
weird.
It's not your fault, mate. That was a top-notch joke.
I don't need pity from you.
Luke, the race that everyone can't stop talking about.
Vietnam?
No, Luke.
Zandvoort?
No, not Van Voort. Nerang GP.
Oh, yes,
The
Nerang.
Monaco of the Gold Coast, Luke. It's just taken Australia by storm. It's taken the world by storm.
What a place to be.
Wow, for the 2020 bid for a Formula One Grand Prix right here. We're getting so much support. We're going to fly this idea to Liberty Media. We're going to deliver it, hand deliver it in a sealed briefcase. It went so well the first time we did that. We're going to do it all again. But we do need to get some locals on board, get their support. So we're going to call this what do we call it? The Aussie Battler GP? Is that what we're calling it?
Yes, that's what you called it.
The Battlers GP for people that aren't rich, people that have no money, no hope, no future.
It's not white collar. It's not blue collar. There's no collar at all. It's just shirtless,
because people
wearing
can't
a pair
afford
of jeans and no shoes. That's pretty much the Nerang.
it. We celebrate the average. The
Hey,
guy,
that's all we do on this podcast.
that is what we do is average.
We celebrate the Turd Championship. You can't get more average than that.
Exactly.
And we celebrate ourselves.
We celebrate.
Very average.
Very, this podcast is so average. We celebrate the guy that sits on the lounge and eats chips and Netflix nonstop. This is what the Nerang GP is. It's celebrating the average Joe.
And we've got a scoop.
A very big scoop. Well, we've spoken to Doug Thompson,
Dougie.
the mayor of Nerang. He was right in for the Nerang Grand Prix. We had to bribe him. What did we give him?
Winnie Blues.
Packet of Winnie Blues? No, carton.
Carton.
Carton of Winnie Blues. It's really gathering momentum. We're getting local businesses on board as well, and we've submitted plans to council. We are, in fact, going to drive the track. You and I, this Sunday, are going to take a camera, sit in the car. We're going to get Pete to be on the flag, the
I'm gonna take
start-finish
a
line,
plethora of cameras.
multiple angles.
Yeah.
And we're going to drive the track as fast as we possibly can within the speed limit, within the school zone. There's a few school zones.
Yeah.
So we have to be responsible.
But it's Sunday. There's no school. We'll be going flat out 60.
Correct. 60 top, maybe 61, if we can push it.
Ooh. Yeah, I got points on my license.
Have you? Good. That's good. So the petition is
Do you have a
coming
clean
along.
driving license?
I I think I got a speeding ticket not long ago.
Nah, mine's clean as a whistle.
Oh, wow.
mate.
Well, you're definitely driving.
Yeah.
We've got 14 names on the petition now, Luke.
14.
Yep. They've
Wow.
signed the petition to see the Nerang Grand Prix as an official Grand Prix, which is big news. And Lachlan at Woolworths. He's the deli man. He bastes a beautiful chicken. He knows how to dress a chicken. He knows how to stuff a chicken. He knows the difference between a brie and a gorgonzola. He's very good on the meats and the salamis, the thin slice, the thick slice. And he was actually in the fruit and veg section today, and I spoke to him at the Nerang Woolworths, which sits perfectly between the two Dan Ricciardo corners. So it's right there. And we had a chat to him about, half an hour ago? An hour ago?
Yep.
To get the feedback in Nerang, on the street level, in Woolies, to see the excitement levels and to get some feedback from Lockie at Woolies. This is how that conversation went.
Hello, Lachlan speaking.
Lachlan speaking. G'day, mate.
Good to be on the show.
Oh, mate. Good to see you, buddy. This is Luke, by the way. Say g'day to Luke.
Good day, Luke.
G'day, Lockie. How you going, mate?
Yeah, fantastic. How are you?
Mate, I'm good. How's the deli going?
Yeah, look, it's in tip-top form. I just got a few roast chickens out of the oven, filled up my coleslaw, and ready to go and serve the customers.
It's very important to fill up the coleslaw.
Yeah, exactly right. The coleslaw it's almost important as the shaved ham, I think.
Oh, the shaved ham. What's the secret to a good slaw, Lockie? Do you prepare the slaw from scratch?
Look, I'd love to say I do, but unfortunately, just a bit of insider trading here. We don't. Yeah, we get them prepared off.
What?
Lockie!
It's a bombshell right there.
We have to edit this part out, Lockie. We have to edit this part out. People will be devastated.
Look, people will be infuriated. The show will get shut down.
I wanna see
Really,
you.
so maybe just edit that bit out. I'm sorry about that, boys.
It's okay, Lockie, because when I turn up to the deli, I just assume when you're there, I mean, you dance around the deli, Lockie. You're floating. You're just wonderful to watch. And I just assume that you make everything. I just assume that you're, it's like a baker.
Look, I was born in a deli. I was born and
In
bred
India?
in a deli, raised in a deli. It is second nature to me.
Yeah.
I have my sleeping bag out the back.
Yeah.
Because I live and breathe deli. Deli is my religion.
You can tell by the way that the food tastes, Lockie. It smacks of quality and love. Obviously, you've heard about the proposed Nerang Formula One track.
Yes, it's been the top of the agenda this week, definitely.
Is there much talk about it at Woolies? Because obviously your Woolies is right on the track. It's between the two Dan Ricciardo corners. So you're going to be trackside.
Look, I've definitely been talking with Woolworths marketing and also the CEO of the company. And
Really?
So this is a world first that I'm about to declare, but we are prepared to sponsor the event. So
What?
I've given an allowance. I've been given an allowance of 3 roast chickens and
What?
a tub of not any coleslaw, but the family-sized coleslaw, fresh from the packet.
You know what, Lockie? I think I'm in love with you.
Lockie,
Just to let you know that right now you're in the running to be the title sponsor. If we get any more bids higher than the 3 roast chickens and the family side coleslaw, we will have to put you down to a minor sponsor.
But there could be a counter offer. You could outbid them, so it could be a bartering. You know what I mean?
I don't want to give away too much, but we will be entering a bidding war if that were the case.
I love a bidding war.
Do we have a hat for him, Luke? We've got a hat, don't we?
We got a hat.
An Effing One podcast hat?
Yeah.
Damn right we do.
Or,
Congratulations, Lockie. You've just earned yourself a hat.
I don't even know if I'm prepared to wear it. I might just have to hang it up.
It is
It's
slightly
definitely-
soiled.
It is a
though.
bit soiled, Lockie. I'm going to be honest
That's
with you.
all right.
No,
That's
see,
all right.
he's
The
fine
more
with that.
use, better.
More
You know when they exactly when they put
That's his idea of the deli. The more soiled, the better.
Now, before you head off, Lockie, just a quick take on the thing that has exploded on Twitter. It's gone mental on social media. The whole Hamilton Sebastian Vettel penalty. Where do you sit on this? Do you sit on Effing One is too overregulated and Vettel shouldn't have been penalised, or are you do the crime, do the time?
I think Vettel should actually be awarded C because he executed quite a good power slide entering into the corner there.
Yep.
And think about the speeds going there. I definitely wouldn't be able to execute a power slide going 200 odd kilometres an hour.
Yep.
So
I think he should be awarded with a 5-second negative penalty.
For Hamilton. So Hamilton gets...
No, Sebastian gets...
Sebastian.
Yeah, it's 5 seconds
Yes,
quicker.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Just keeping control of that thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. Hamilton should be disqualified immediately for whining yet again. I'm just a bit fed up of his voice, to be honest.
Oh,
over
Lockie.
the
I'm liking you more and more every moment I spend with you, Lockie. I'm loving you more. Lockie, you're an absolute genius. Thanks for spending some time with us on F1 Podcast. The hat is coming to you signed and delivered at the Woolies at Nerang.
How will I be able to sleep tonight? Jeez, you've just made my week, boys.
Keep up those beautiful chicken and your deli assortments, mate. Absolutely delicious what you're doing. The work that you're doing at Woolies, a tip of the cap to you, sir.
No worries. Thanks a lot, guys.
See you, mate.
Love
Bye-bye.
the work from you guys as well.
See you, mate.
Thanks, Locke. Bye.
Inspirational.
Very inspirational.
Inspirational, Lachlan.
Sounds like he's ready.
Seems like Nerang's ready. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's very, very excited. So great chat. So look forward to jumping in the car with you on Sunday, big fella.
Yep.
Can't wait for that.
Looking forward to it.
Can't wait to drive the track and just to really get a feel and a vibe.
It's quite a long track, 7.2 Ks.
Yep.
There is some modifications. There's some traffic islands that will just be made into one wide track of road.
Yep.
So when you see it, you go, oh, it might be a bit narrow. No. We're
Yeah.
taking both sides of the road.
Yep.
You knock down those trees.
And I did notice that some people on Facebook and Twitter have been saying, is this for real? Are you dickheads just having a laugh? No.
We are dickheads.
We are correct, yes. Yes, we are dickheads. But no,
Granted.
this is very serious.
Sebastian would say, uber serious.
Das ist uber serious. Oh, God, the Skype line must be still
that
open.
off, sorry.
Hey, guys, don't let go. No, he's gone now. Are you sure he's gone?
Yes.
Fuck. I hate when he just lingers. He just stands. He's downing his Frank and beans right now. Oh, Jesus.
Messy. It's messy.
God, that Frank looked big, didn't he? I'm sure he'd be working out. Yeah, so very exciting.
Very serious.
Very, very. Looking forward to driving that circuit because it is.
I wouldn't be giving away Winnie Blues if it wasn't serious.
This is a serious
We're
Grand
not
Prix.
talking to Lockie from Woolies if this wasn't serious.
And if you can find a Formula One track anywhere in the world that has more cultural significance than this track, then sure.
Given we only
Nice.
have 200 odd years of
Rich
anything-
tradition of. Yep.
Yeah, 229 years.
Yeah, it's
Not much.
Nerang it's the future. And if you've been to Monaco and you think that's pretty, if you've been to Paris, the city of love, very nice. Monaco, the city of glitz and glamour. If you've been to New York, you know,
It'll be up there with Spa-Francorchamps and Silverstone
Yeah.
and Austria. It's Nerang.
the city of deadbeats and cheap drugs.
Good jugs, though.
Good.
I'm like, for the money.
Yeah.
You
good
could go into Surfers Paradise and spend 3 or 4 times as much.
Yep. The strippers there are cheap. You'll get a
They got
very
some bullet wounds,
Yep.
especially the midweek girls.
but you will. But go see Shazza. She's lovely. And she's got a family to support.
She can crush cans with her tits.
Sure can. She's got a vice. It's like a hairy vice. She's lovely. I don't know. I'm not sure. But that's the kind of place we're talking about. Nerang, it's just a beautiful spot. You'll love it. It's a destination. It's a holiday destination. The tipping between us, we'll get onto the on Sunday. We'll get back to you with the track. But now, the tipping contest between us, Luke, how's that looking? We tip inside the teams, the best driver, who's going to do the best for the weekend, and how's the score looking now?
So, Adam, you have gone up one. You
Yep.
are +7.
Oh, beauty!
You picked Lewis Hamilton. I went for Valtteri Bottas.
That's
so
right.
I lost 2 points. Then I got Kvyat. You chose Albon.
Ooh.
So I got 2 back points. But then my pick for Kubica for the race to better Boy George was my downfall. So
Why did you do that?
I went for Russell in quali because I knew Russell would out-qualify him. But I thought maybe something might go wrong in the race and possibly get a point back. I didn't. I lost a point. So I'm now down 7. You're still winning.
You beauty. Just made a little extra point there. Fastest lap, you could say. I made a little fastest lap on you there.
You sure did.
Put some fresh rubber on. It's time for
Dan
Watch. The Mr. Personality of the Formula One grid. The reason that Liberty Media is still making some coin because the racing's bloody ordinary, overregulated, as we say. But this man, Dan Ricciardo, everyone wants to know what he's doing. He's Mr. Personality. What did you catch him do of significance this week, Luke?
He was quite busy on the socials this weekend. Sean Tim Tam Kelly was in Montreal for the weekend. I checked out his Instagram story. He was there with Daniel Ricciardo face to face as Daniel was explaining how he would possibly catch the Ferraris and Mercedes was by, people throwing oil on the track, which is an idea that we had.
You're welcome, Dan.
Last year.
You're welcome.
To make F1 great again is by throwing oil.
One of the many
piñata
ideas.
Or fruit, something to slow them down. And
correct.
Bang, it's gotten to the great man himself. And Sean has said that his breath is minty fresh. That's how close he was. He could smell his breath.
Dan's breath is fresh, minty.
Minty fresh.
That doesn't surprise me.
Highs and lows. He did a lap around Monaco with a journalist, asked him a few questions. The journalist tried to be funny. He wasn't really. He was no effing on podcast to tell you that right now. And he was asked what's the highs and lows about being a Formula 1 driver. And Daniel said the lows is talking to dickheads like you.
Yep.
And then he pounded away around the track to make it even worse. His stomach was a bit off. Also asked what would you say to a 34-year-old man with 2 hours of racing experience that he wanted to get into F1. And Daniel said, be born again, stop deluding yourself, you idiot. Perfectly put in his place. All in a good joke. Daniel had a laugh afterwards. It's not to be taken too seriously. He did a Facebook Live on the Renault Facebook. He spoke about he knows all phones and how to take photos with them. And when people give him how you can take a photo with the volume buttons on your iPhone.
Yep, he knows.
He knows how to do that. And people like, oh, yeah, just press the button. He's like, no, I got it. And they're like, no. He's like, no, watch.
So I got it. Watch this.
It's like, see, it's there.
He's teaching them how to use their
phone. He's going around the
phone.
world and teaching people how to use their phone. Another tip.
One photograph at a time.
I'm going to give everyone a tip. If you're not sure if you're going to wait for that right photo, when you take a photo, just like if you've got an iPhone, just hold down on that button and it'll just keep taking photos.
Yep.
It'll take a multitude of sequences so that you can go back and choose which one. So you don't wait for that right moment. Just shoot the shit out of it.
Just keep going.
And then look back and go, I like that one, you delete the rest.
You won't miss it, and you'll find some little nuggets that you never thought you had.
Yep. If it's something that's rare, film it. And then while you're filming, there's a little white button while you're filming. That's taking photos as well. So you can take a photo as you're filming. These are little tips that we're going to give you on the F1 podcast. And this is what Daniel is teaching the world.
Well, and you as well, Luke. You are by industry, by nature, by occupation, a professional photographer.
I am. And I don't take all my photos on my phone, but I have learned how to use them.
You know how to do it.
Sorry.
As does Dan. Dan does well.
Dan is
He's a genius.
Professional phone photographer. He had some celebrities drop by. One was Lisa Koshy. Never heard of her before. I'm really into sport and comedy, so she doesn't really fit in my genre of things and knowing about her. But apparently she's
because that
quite
last
famous.
joke that you delivered, I mean, that was
shut the fuck up.
That was beautiful.
I'm Kermit. Hey, Miss Piggy.
Oh, that's really good. That's good.
So she asked him about the shoey. She's like, "Is it too salty? And he goes, the coldness of the champagne, you just whack it straight down, and you don't really. If you don't like the person, you let it marinate.
What?
Before you whack down the shoey.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
if you hate them,
because he's handing him over.
Yeah. So because the champagne's cold, just whack it down. You won't really taste it.
Did he indicate who is kind of lingering? Who he lets the flavour?
I guess it's just someone you don't like.
He didn't mention names.
No names.
Okay.
No names. But
we know who he means, though.
Of course.
We know.
Max.
Max Verstappen.
Yeah, so that's Dan Watch.
Dan Watch. Man, that guy. We still have to get him on this podcast as well.
We need to twist some arms.
We do have that contact that we need to reach out with.
You were in the good books with her.
I did bring a lot of chocolate to the Formula
She
One.
has diabetes now, but
Yeah.
it's a good.
She's
good way
also
to
very
go.
forgiving.
She is.
Hopefully, she's
Yeah.
very forgiving. So we'll get on that and see if we can get him on board. Well, he is definitely on board with the Nerang GP.
Oh, he's already using our ideas to slow the front teams down.
Strangely enough, these are things that we mentioned to Dan in person at Melbourne, and now it's just little seeds. We've planted little seeds, and now it's sprouted, it's
They're in his head.
germinated,
They're
it's
in his head.
marinated, germinated, and now it's coming back out. You're
We're going to be
welcome.
so much in his head. We're going to have a button into his car, and we're going to talk to him.
Direct line from F1 podcast straight to Dan's car.
When he wins the Australian Grand Prix, we'll be right there pressing the button going, well done, Daniel.
Well done, Dan. This is Daniel. It's F1 podcast here. Forget Christian. He's trying to talk to you.
Christian?
We've into Christian Horner.
He's not with Christian Horner anymore, you
Oh,
dick.
fuck. Cyril. Yeah, Christian's trying to talk to you. He wants you back. So
He wants
say
you
no.
back.
Say no. Cyril's also on the line. We've got actually, they're both on hold. We've got them both on hold. It's F1 podcast. Fuck them. You're doing a great job, Dan. So anything you want to say? You want to say thank you to F1 podcast, Dan, for all the great ideas? You're welcome, Dan.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Do a shoey for us.
Actually, at the bottom of his shoe, there'll be the F1 podcast.
Just a
In the
little
tread.
the logo.
The white logo, white writing. F1, the other one has podcast.
Effing one and
Yeah.
podcast on the other.
Yeah, when he's sitting down, like with his feet up, you can see F1 podcast on his shoes.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Beautiful.
Would not be surprised.
Maybe that's what we could give him as a gift. Like painted F1 podcast shoes.
Yes. He'll definitely wear them.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. He loves his podcast. Well, someone in the garage somewhere in a team is downloading this podcast, Luke. It's official.
There is a traveller
There's a traveller.
within the F1 ranks. It could be a journalist. It could be a mechanic.
We know it's Dan.
Could be a PR. Could be that guy from Red Bull that we hate.
Oh, Gasly's minder.
Yeah.
The little short fucker with his little glasses and his beard.
Could be him.
He's a fuckwit.
We don't know who it is.
No.
But someone, reach out. Have a chat.
We know it's Dan, though, don't we?
We hope it's
Big
Dan.
shout out to you, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Speak to you soon. Before we go, we should really say, Mrs. Luke, your mother,
She's called it in.
what a spread. What has she delivered here? I mean, she's on the road in the trailer around West. Where is she right now? Western Australia somewhere?
Around
Exmouth?
Shark Bay.
Shark Bay?
Yeah, around there.
Yep.
Or Broome. I don't know.
Broome.
Around the northwest coast.
Kilbarry?
Calbarry, that's a little bit further
Beautiful
south.
spot.
Yeah. It is a beautiful spot.
So she's express packed these food
Yeah, she's
to
Uber
us.
Eats it for us.
Jeez. What have we got here today? We've
Some
got
moose
some
head.
Moose. She's done some Canadian classics.
And inside, if you look inside the eye cavity of the moose head, you'll find caviar.
Caviar. Fish roe inside
Salmon
the
eggs.
moose.
Yeah.
Salmon eggs. Makes sense. And lamb.
Lamb.
Not very popular in North America, lamb.
Not
They don't-
hugely.
They don't
But
like
that's
it.
really there for you. It's not Canadian. It's just there because you need it.
Because your mum knows that I love lamb.
Yeah.
And it's in a pastry, which is nice.
And what's in that pastry? Garlic sauce.
Garlic sauce. It's a sweet, savoury garlic tart in with lamb.
Now, I will try and take a photo of this banquet as been asked by Smushy McTransfish.
Oh, Smush. The Smushmeister.
The great man Cliff. We will try and get a photo of this before Adam inhales it because he's drooling as we talk.
We'll try to leave you something smushy. We'll try to leave you a little bit of the...
Send him a morsel.
yeah, we'll leave a little something. A little something.
If you get an eye in the filled with caviar,
Oh,
you know
yeah.
who it's from.
Then you've got the short straw, buddy. Sorry about that.
Hey, fish eggs.
Suck
It's
it.
expensive.
Let's wrap this thing up because it has been a lot of fun. The Canadian Grand Prix wrap-up, Luke. It's been great. Thanks, big fella.
Thank
Always
you.
fun. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. Get hold of us for comments. Everyone Podcast, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you
Rate
name
and
it.
review.
Yeah, review it. Star it. 5-star it.
And if you want to have a chat with us, let us know. We'll give you a call. Do what we did with Lockie.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, we'll do another one.
Yeah.
Let us know if you want us to chat to you and get the lowdown on anything at your workplace. We want to know what the vibe is at your workplace. Are you loving the Nerang Grand Prix ideas?
We could be like an agony aunt. We could help them with their problems if they've got an issue.
Let us know.
Yep.
Can we help out at your
As long as
workplace?
you make it Formula One related.
Yeah. We'll be here. It's like a helpline.
Yeah.
The FE1 Podcast helpline. Call us in from your work If you've got problems with your boss, put him on, we'll abuse him. If someone bullying you, is there a hot chick that you want to ask out and you haven't got the guts? Are you on a slow burn and you haven't had the guts to ask her out? Well, do it before you get too old. That's what would you say, Luke?
No, just give up on it completely. Move on.
Just be professional and move on.